to reports, the Seahawks are, quote, positioned to make a push when it comes to signing free agent Antonio Brown. AB is eligible to return from his suspension after Week 8. Brown ran routes with Russell Wilson this offseason, and just this week, Pete Carroll said the team is tuned in to the situation when it comes to bringing in the receivers. So, Shannon, would AB make Seattle the Super Bowl favorites?
No, not necessarily, Skip. And Seattle has to be very, very careful bringing in Antonio Brown. And I think Pete Carroll and John Snyder will need to sit down and have a conversation and let them know exactly what they expect from him. Now, also, because you're bringing him in so late, Skip, you're not tied to him. He acts up, you get rid of him, kind of like what the Patriots did, although they had to have an arbitration settlement. Skip, offense isn't Seattle's problem. They have the #1 offense. It's defense. They're giving up 471 total yards per game, 370 passing. Now, you think Dallas defense is bad. Dallas defense gives up more points, but they give up 500 yards a game, Skip.
I'll trade you right now.
No, we're good. Because I still think Wags can get that adjusted.
Thank you.
And once they get Jamal Adams back also. Skip, look, I think they believe that Russ on offense, because Russ has worked out with him in the offseason, Bobby Wagner on defense, they have the pieces in the locker room that can somewhat, look, AB, that's not the way we do it here. And I think the thing is that you're always mindful of when you bring a guy in of AB and you have young players that play that position, is that you don't want him to contaminate them. I think Russell Wilson has a good enough relationship with DK Metcalf, and he's mature enough to know, okay, I don't really need to do it like that.
Yep.
And so with that being said, that doesn't, I would like to wish AB played defense, something that could really help the Seahawks. But I don't think this makes them a lock. I don't think this makes them the overwhelming favorite in the NFC, because the issue is not offense. Russ is still the MVP front runner. They still can move the ball with ease. I mean, Metcalf and Lockett, those receivers, Chris Carson running the football. The issue is defense, Skip. But it seems to me that they've been kind of hell-bent on bringing AB in from the very beginning. They're one of the few teams. I think the Baltimore Ravens are also in on this sweepstakes. And so he's gonna choose, where do I think I have the best opportunity to contribute and still be AB as far as catching the football.
Yep.
So would I be surprised if he ended up in Seattle? No, I would not.
I am with your final takeaway. They don't need Antonio Brown. They don't need to risk what he might or might not do to their locker room or their huddle. You realize Fox Bet right now favors the Seattle Seahawks to win the NFC. So they're already favored to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Pro Football Focus ranks Russell Wilson the #1 quarterback in pro football. Offensively, they lead the league in points scored.
Right.
Points per game at 34. That's pretty great.
Right.
And you want to risk Antonio Brown? We just saw him flame out in Pittsburgh, flame out on Hard Knocks for all of us to see in Oakland with the Raiders. And then he was in New England for about 15 minutes, and he self-destructed.
Right.
And just to remind everybody, I'm just going to read this from the story just to bring us up to date.
Right.
Brown has been the subject of an NFL investigation after an accusation of sexual misconduct at his home by an artist who was working there in 2017. He also pleaded no contest in June to a felony burglary with battery charge about the January incident with the moving truck driver. And the NFL also continues to investigate a lawsuit filed by Brown's former athletic trainer alleging that she was sexually assaulted by him. So these things are still pending, but he served his 8-game suspension, and
they're pending in the court, but he would have done he would have served his time.
He served his time with the NFL, or so we think.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's happening. So he will be eligible to be signed by somebody. Fox Bet also has second on the list of potential signers of Antonio Brown. They rank the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Could they use him more? Because Seattle doesn't really need him, but does Aaron Rodgers need? Yeah, he could probably use him more. He just got Devontae back.
Especially with Lazard being out, because he had, I think, that sports hernia surgery or something like that. So he's probably gone for 8 weeks, and then by the time he works himself back. So, yeah, Green Bay could possibly use him.
Okay. Would that be a better risk? Probably more. Yeah.
You need an established quarterback to deal with him.
Correct. And Russell's obviously.
And that's why I believe it worked so well with Brady, is that Brady is established. Now, for whatever reason, he didn't show Ben the level of respect that someone of Ben's cachet deserved, but I think that's because Ben didn't show him the level of respect that AB thought he deserved.
And obviously, it sounded like Brady campaigned for AB to be a Buccaneer.
Right.
And I said, if Brady wants him, then I'm good with that, because he might be able to control it a little bit, have a little better connection with him to keep him, teach him the Patriot way that's now the Bucs way, right? Okay, but Bruce Arians just said no way, because he coached him early in his career in Pittsburgh, and he said he's not a fit for our locker room. Okay, I guess that ended that, and it looks like we found out BA is in charge, not Tom Brady running that show.
And that's the thing, Skip. That's what you have to be careful of, because you never know. I mean, a position coach here, or a wide receiver coach, or a running back coach, or a DB coach, or a linebacker coach, all of a sudden they're a head coach somewhere. And when you were coming up, that's why, I mean, I look around the league and I got offensive coordinators and position coaches all over the place. I'm like, wow. So you never, Skip, you never know. That's why you have to be on your best behavior at all times, because that position coach, all of a sudden, he becomes a head coach. And we see that, Skip, a lot of times. Oh, yeah, he coached him at such and such. They bring the guy in. Okay, so what do we know about the Seahawks so far? Has DK Metcalf turned into a top 5 receiver? He's starting to look like it. He's been unbelievable.
Right?
Yes.
Tyler Lockett has always been sneaky great, under the radar clutch.
Yes.
When I'm rooting against Seattle, he's the one I fear, because he's going to get loose somewhere. Get behind
remember early in his career, he was just known as a return specialist, punt and kick returns. Now he's turned himself into a very good receiver. Very good.
And that kid, David Moore from East Central in Oklahoma, that they got in the 7th round, he's starting to have impact. He has 10 catches for 173 yards. It's pretty good. And Greg Olsen still contributes a little bit. He's sort of at the end of his line. We love him here. But he's still a factor for them. He's got 15 catches for 140 yards.
Right.
And AB is going to fit in where and be happy how?
Right. I just think the thing is don't become the Dallas Cowboys. You don't really need that position, but you get it because you say you're gonna strengthen the strength.
Yep.
And you negate. If there, like I said, Skip, I don't know what defensive guys out there that could possibly help. The only thing obviously Earl Thomas is not happening. Maybe Eric Reed, maybe is there a pass rusher, or is there someone out there that can help put pressure on the quarterback, because you lost Bruce Irving. You didn't re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. But I don't really think they need AB for what they're doing. But it seems to me, from everything that I've read, that he's going to Seattle or Baltimore. That seems to be the two places that seem to be locked in on Antonio Brown.
And his cousin from Miami is
Hollywood.
Marquise Brown. Yeah,
Hollywood in Baltimore.
Okay. I got it. But I don't get Seattle. I just don't see it.
I don't either. And hopefully, he's like, man, because this would be, AB, this would really be your 4th strike.
Yep.
And normally you don't only get 3. And so that just goes to show you that people believe in you, and hopefully you've changed your ways. And I think hopefully, I can't say I think, hopefully he's learned, because you messed that up in Pittsburgh, had a great situation. Sometimes we don't realize how good we got it, Skip, because he didn't realize, he thought, oh man, I can go do this with anybody. He didn't realize how great Ben was. And he go to Oakland, and whatever had transpired, and he got with Tom Brady, like, oh man. If I was him, when I got with Tom Brady, I'd have threw my phone away to make sure I don't tweet, I don't text, I don't do anything. I'm just gonna throw my phone away for the year.
You don't group text?
Yeah, I ain't messing I ain't messing this situation up. So hopefully he's learned the error of his ways, and he's like, you know what? I'm closer to the end than the beginning. Let me get right and get these last couple of years, get this money and get up out of here.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll have to see how that one plays out, guys. And remember when Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers did face off last weekend? Well, Aaron Rodgers was left hanging after losing to the Bucs on Sunday. We will explain